Scientists recently found a ghost hidden inside the data of the James Webb Space Telescope. It was not a radio signal, but a faint chemical whisper called dimethyl sulfide drifting from a world light years away. On Earth, this exact molecule is produced exclusively by living marine organisms. This is gradually revealing the answer to the question: are we truly alone in the universe? But to understand how we stumbled upon this terrifying paradox, we must first rewind the clock to a time when humanity was entirely blind. For thousands of years, humanity was trapped in a profound cosmic blindness, gazing up at a silent sky while desperately hoping our pale blue dot was not a terrifying anomaly. That silence was finally broken in the 1990s when ground-based telescopes caught the faint, chaotic gravitational wobbles of distant stars, revealing the very first exoplanets. Yet, these discoveries were merely shadows on a cave wall. The true awakening arrived in 2009 with the Kepler Space Telescope. Kepler stared unblinking into the dark and shattered our isolation, uncovering thousands of new worlds. It proved definitively that planets are far more common than stars, but it also delivered a crushing paradox: a galaxy overflowing with worlds, yet almost all of them appeared to be scorching gas giants or frozen, lifeless graveyards. We were drowning in planets, but starving for a second Earth. In 2018, tests launched to map the immediate shorelines of our cosmic ocean, systematically cataloging the planetary neighbors closest to our own solar system. However, science soon slammed into a terrifying limitation. We could calculate the size, mass, and orbit of these rocky spheres, but we were completely locked out of their deeper secrets. An address means nothing if you cannot see who or what resides inside. We lacked the technological power to pierce their alien skies and analyze the invisible layers of gas that dictate the razor-thin line between a breathing oasis and a dead wasteland. That insurmountable barrier was violently shattered by the James Webb Space Telescope. Operating at the absolute pinnacle of human ingenuity throughout the 2020s, James Webb did what previous generations thought was impossible. It stopped looking at the cold rock and began dissecting the ancient starlight filtering through their atmospheres. For the first time in human history, we are no longer just searching for distant planets. We are actively smelling their skies, hunting for the faint, chemical breath of life itself. We are standing on the edge of an existential revelation that will redefine our place in the void. And as we pivot this magnificent golden eye toward a faint red dwarf star 48 light-years away, we are about to stare directly into a giant, unblinking ocean world that is staring right back at us. Exactly. 49 light-years from Earth lies LHS 1140b. To truly grasp this abyss, know that a commercial jet flying continuously at top speed would take nearly 57 million years to cross it. Yet, in mid-2024, the James Webb Space Telescope brought this world uncomfortably close, shattering our assumptions of where life could survive. LHS 1140b is a tidally locked sphere of rock. One hemisphere is forever banished to a pitch-black, freezing vacuum. The other is trapped in perpetual daylight, staring directly into the relentless glare of a red dwarf star. Scientists long assumed this violent extreme forged a sterile graveyard. But at the exact center of that sunlit face, the ancient ice has melted. It forms a staggering liquid ocean surrounded entirely by a towering planetary ring of glaciers. We are looking at a spectacular, unblinking cosmic eyeball gazing endlessly into the void. An exposed ocean in the cold vacuum of space would simply boil away or freeze over. But LHS 1140b is shielded. Webb's instruments did not just confirm water. They tasted the alien sky above it, detecting a robust atmosphere heavily saturated with nitrogen. But this is the exact foundational pillar of the air you are breathing right now. It is the heavy blanket necessary to regulate global climate and shield delicate biology from lethal stellar radiation. We have finally found the structural ingredients of a second Earth, waiting silently in the dark. But a perfect sanctuary means nothing if it is empty. To cross the profound threshold from a habitable environment to an inhabited one, we must plunge into the crushing depths of a very different ocean, where the atmosphere itself is whispering a terrifying secret. In the expanding catalog of exoplanets, K218b is a beautiful, terrifying monster. It is a Hycean world, completely engulfed by a global ocean that stretches down into crushing, unfathomable depths, suffocating beneath a heavy atmosphere of pure hydrogen. Astrobiologists once dismissed such extreme environments, assuming the violent pressure and volatile chemistry would crush any biological machinery before it could ever form. But starting in 2023, James Webb detected a phantom signal drifting from those alien waters. The telescope successfully isolated the spectral fingerprint of a highly complex molecule, dimethyl sulfide. On Earth, this chemical is never forged by dead tectonic plates or chaotic electrical storms. It has only one origin. Dimethyl sulfide is the unmistakable exhaust fume of life, produced exclusively by microscopic marine organisms drifting in our oceans. Finding this exact biological signature woven into a foreign sky sparked a fierce academic war that raged into 2025. Almost this singular discovery brings modern science to an agonizing paralysis. Either our fundamental understanding of planetary chemistry is completely broken and dead planets can chemically forge organic molecules, or that global ocean is currently swarming with an alien biomass, exhaling into the dark void. We stand at the edge of the abyss, holding the absolute strongest chemical evidence for extraterrestrial life ever recorded, yet we remain powerless to reach out and touch it. But while we debate microscopic phantoms in deep water, another star system is hiding a very different marvel. We must now turn our gaze to a place where planetary physics creates an illusion so magnificent, the sky itself looks like a masterpiece painted by a mad god. 40 light-years away, nestled in the Aquarius constellation, lies a miniature solar system that defies fundamental logic. In 2017, the Spitzer Space Telescope pierced the cosmic abyss to reveal TRAPPIST-1. It is an astronomical masterpiece, a single, ultra-cool red dwarf star surrounded by a densely packed family of 7 Earth-sized rocky planets. This entire system is incredibly compact, squeezed into an orbit smaller than Mercury's. Yet, the undisputed crown jewel is the 4th planet, TRAPPIST-1e. Sitting perfectly in the center of the habitable zone, this world is arguably the most pristine replica of Earth we have ever charted. Recently, the James Webb Space Telescope locked its golden mirrors onto this exact planet, hunting for the chemical signatures of a life-sustaining atmosphere. If you stood on its rocky surface, the sky would look like a breathtaking, more terrifyingly beautiful clockwork universe. Because these 7 sibling planets are packed so tightly, you would not just see distant stars. You would see your neighboring worlds looming massively overhead, appearing as large and detailed as our own moon, their geological features visible to the naked eye. But while TRAPPIST-1e offers a spectacular vision, sometimes we must look away from perfect replicas to understand if life can truly endure the violent mechanics of the cosmos. We must examine a world that dances dangerously close to the fires of hell. In May of 2024, NASA's TESS satellite mapped a subtle shadow crossing a red dwarf star just 40 light-years away. This shadow belonged to Gliese 12b, a rocky world that immediately captivated the astronomical community. Roughly the size of Earth, its environment is a high-stakes cosmic gamble. With an estimated surface temperature of 42 degrees Celsius, it is a relentless planetary sauna. Yet, crucially, it remains within the definitive biological limits where liquid water can survive. Scientists quickly dubbed it the temperate version of Venus. Orbiting dangerously close to its host star, it absorbs a continuous bombardment of stellar radiation. This punishing proximity makes it the ultimate cosmic laboratory. The haunting question is whether a planet subjected to such violent solar winds can hold onto a fragile atmosphere, or if it has been stripped bare, reduced to a toxic greenhouse like our own lifeless Venus. Discovering the truth about Gliese 12b will completely rewrite our understanding of planetary survival, defining exactly how close to the fire a world can stand before it burns to ash. Yet, as brilliant as this distant laboratory is, it still requires looking dozens of light-years into the dark. But what if the most profound cosmic revelation was hiding right in our own backyard, silently orbiting the very next star over? Just 4.2 light-years away, practically next door in the vastness of space, orbits Proxima Centauri b. Discovered in 2016 by the European Southern Observatory, this world continually haunts our collective imagination. It is the absolute closest exoplanet to our solar system, a tantalizing target that feels almost within our physical grasp. Yet, cosmic proximity does not guarantee a peaceful paradise. This world is locked in a brutally violent relationship with its host, a volatile red dwarf star. Proxima b is relentlessly bombarded by catastrophic stellar flares and lethal torrents of radiation. For years, scientists assumed this endless assault would have stripped away any atmospheric shield, leaving behind a sterilized, irradiated wasteland. It seemed our closest neighbor was nothing more than a dead rock, but cutting-edge simulations extending into 2026 have radically resurrected our hopes. If this planet possesses a molten core generating a massive magnetic field, it could violently deflect those deadly solar storms. This invisible shield would create a narrow, twilight sanctuary. In the permanent shadow of the Terminator line, the eternal border between scorching day and freezing night, pockets of liquid water and alien biology could be thriving against all odds, not clinging to existence on the razor's edge. However, while Proxima b forces potential life to hide in the planetary shadows, another recent discovery offers a much safer, far grander stage for biology to flourish. If the violent extremes of our immediate neighbors prove too hostile, the universe has provided a magnificent contingency plan. In early 2024, the TESS satellite isolated a dominant, undeniable signal. It revealed TOI 715b, a colossal super-Earth measuring 1.5 times the size of our own home. This giant world completes an entire orbit in just 19 days, meaning a year there passes in less than 3 weeks. Normally, such a rapid, suffocatingly tight orbit would plunge a planet into an inescapable inferno. But TOI 715b is miraculously blessed. Its host star is exceptionally cool and quiet, permanently parking this super-Earth right in the absolute center of the conservative habitable zone. It is a mathematically perfect safe haven. The planet rests at the exact distance required to sustain vast, stable oceans of liquid water across its immense surface, completely free from the constant threat of boiling away or freezing solid. It stands out not as a chaotic, irradiated gamble, but as a robust, oversized fortress for life. As we continue to map these scattered islands in the dark, from terrifying water worlds to colossal super-Earths, a profound realization begins to take hold. The discoveries of the past decade have fundamentally shifted our destiny from passive observers to active voyagers. As we look toward the 2030s, humanity is forging its next great eye, the Habitable Worlds Observatory. This is not just another telescope, it is a colossal machine engineered to do what was once considered impossible. It will artificially block the blinding, chaotic glare of host stars to directly photograph Earth-like planets. We will no longer rely on fleeting shadows and spectral ghosts. We will hunt for the literal, visual reflections of alien oceans and the unmistakable signatures of green, photosynthetic continents. But merely seeing these worlds from a distance is only the beginning. To truly confront our cosmic isolation, we must eventually cross the terrifying abyss. This is the genesis of Project Starshot, a breathtaking initiative that pushes the absolute boundaries of physics. Imagine a fleet of delicate light sails, propelled by an array of incredibly powerful, concentrated laser beams fired directly from Earth. Accelerating to 20% the speed of light, these robotic probes could pierce the interstellar void and reach Proxima Centauri in just 20 years. For the first time in human history, traveling to another solar system is no longer a science fiction fantasy. It is a mathematical certainty waiting for our engineering to catch up. We are standing at the absolute dawn of the greatest era of discovery our species has ever known. We have mapped the shorelines, we have tasted the alien winds, and we have isolated the chemical whispers of deep water. We may not have found them just yet, but the agonizing blindness is over. We finally know exactly where to look. And the next time you step outside into the dark and gaze up at the infinite or starry night, hold on to this terrifying and beautiful thought. There is a very real chance that someone or something out there is looking right back at us. If this journey into the profound unknowns of our universe made you question our place in the dark, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community of explorers. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these alien worlds you believe is hiding the greatest secret. Leave a like to support the channel, and until next time, keep your eyes on the stars. Eyes on the stars. eyes on the